What's going on, good people? What is going on? Welcome to Pro Fan Talk. My name is Marcus Thomas. Thank you for joining me. Sorry for looking at the TV. Got the game's about to come on, I believe, at 8. So watching some other stuff. Thanks for joining me. It's been another crazy week. NFL is the gift that keeps on giving. This week is no different. So we're keeping it going. Let's see who's in the chat. TK, first out the limo. TK, we're going to get you some type of medal or something. Tom is the A2D man. He's the one that started it all. Tom Arnone. Thanks for joining me, brother. Hope baseball is going good for you. Coaching will wear you out, brother. I'm with you. J Dog, what's going on? Number 3 in the limo. Big Moose, number 4 in the limo. I appreciate y'all, man. Early. I dig that. Deion Kane got to make this roster trade. We're going to get into that, Big Moose. We're going to get into that, man. Big Moose, it must be fate that you this is the first time I'm seeing you in the chat. But my sisters, what's up, Sean? Number 5, Sean Young, always a good one, always faithful. But Big Moose, my sister joined in, my big sister joined in all the way from Iowa, so she got a little time gap, so she might jump in later. But my big sister, my twin sister, that's what they call me. They call me Moose. So it must be fate that you joined in tonight. So Vince, what's going on, dude? Fresh off the honeymoon, back at work, probably loving it. Good to see you, brother. A lot of stuff going on this week. Lots of stuff. Obviously, the big news, we just went in camp with Miami for joint practices or joint practice, singular. But there was some other things going on. We'll get into that real quick. I wanted to talk about some things real quick. Another big injury in NFL. Tyron Smith is out, fractured his knee. So that's another ding to the Cowboys. They just taking it on the chin. I'm not mad about it. Don't want to see nobody hurt, but that's another starter off of their offensive line, man. So that'll be interesting. And also in our division, Colin Johnson, wide receiver for the Giants, I believe, just tore his Achilles. Big 6'6" receiver up there. So, man, they falling down. And I know the word came out when Tom Brady got back to camp that he's going to play this weekend. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't play. I mean, I guess he got to get his work in, but I mean, the last preseason game, that's not the game a vet wants to play in, because that's the game folks are trying to make the squad. So they're going to be going above and beyond their normal effort, because this is their might be their final shot to make a roster. So let me see what's going on. Moose, I gotta give you the floor, man. First class in the Navy. Thank you for your service. On the 4, gave me the nickname. 6 years later is running with. Man, that's how it goes, bro. That's how it goes with the nicknames. They give it to you and you just run with it, man. That's what you're supposed to do, man. So Pete Evans, what's going on, man? Agree with the poll. Everybody's agreeing with that poll, man. We got to get that dude on the roster, man. Deion Kane. This is going to be the thing that is going to make the difference, in my opinion, with Sirianni. Is Sirianni going to make that hard cut? Is he going to make that hard cut? Rager is an expensive cut, and Rager has been having a good camp. But Deion Kane has played his way on that squad. He has played his way on that roster. And I understand that, because I know for me, when I made the Eagles, I had a game versus Atlanta, 10 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. That is the game that I made the roster. That was the 3rd preseason game in 93. that game is what got me on the roster. I firmly believe that. And he has been balling all camp. Sometimes he's been quiet in practice, but in the games, he's been balling up. So, yeah, Facebook user, he's he has been the best to answer your question. I love Facebook user. I love that. You might disagree, but he has been the best non-starter at wide receiver, in my opinion. There she go. That's my big sis, y'all. What's going on, big sis? Glad to see you on finally, all the way in Portland. If you have the will to make the cut, you will. Does he want it? Yes and no. Everybody has the will to make the cut, but at that level, there's a lot of people that make the squads that shouldn't, and there's a lot of guys that get cut that should make the squad. So I wish it was that cut and dry, sis, but it's not. There's a lot of people that are going to be they're going to be on waivers and they're going to be cut, and everybody's going to be like, they cut that guy, and you're going to see a lot of people getting claimed off of waivers. Sean Murphy, what's going on, Murph? Good to see you, brother. Definitely good to see you, man. Thanks for joining me, man. But that cut day is something special, because you're always going to be looking back on situations and shaking your head like, why did they let that guy go? And then you're going to have situations where somebody's going to let somebody go, another team's going to pick them up, and that person's going to ball out. And then you get remorse, because you're going to be like, man, we let that dude go. He could have been doing that for us. Just wasn't in the cards. People don't understand what it means when you say it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. If you got somebody like, and I'll use the situation with Rager as an example. When you got that type of money tied up in a player, you got to remember Rager was a first-round pick. So if they just let him go, the money that's owed goes against the cap. So they're going to try to give him every opportunity to make the squad. However, Deion Kane has been balling. And Deion Kane is clearly the best wide receiver we have that is not named DeVonta Smith, A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins, Pascal, or, who am I missing? He's got to be the number 5 receiver. He's earned it. Let me just say it like that, plain and simple. He's earned it. Sean, that's a good one, bro. That's a good one. Amadi asked the Eagles, should I stay? They said no. You go. But, I think that's going to be a situation where Howie may have been reading the tea leaves, because he got a 6th-round pick for that guy, and maybe he's going to use that 6th-round pick with something else to get something else. So, Howie's always on the shuffle. He's always making stuff happen. So we're going to see how that ends up. But good pun, Sean. That was a good one, bro. But lots of stuff, man. Lots of stuff. Guy in the receiver with the Jets is trying to get in. This was from Mike Garofalo. Ron Slavin. Denzel Mims is asking for a trade. And the reason I put this up there is because I'm looking at all of that stuff with Devontae Adams and with the Raiders. That just started a domino effect of stuff with these receivers. Tyreek Hill. What's the safety that just got his money in Denver, I believe it was. So it just started a domino effect. And now you get not necessarily just these players going to get their money, but if they see their current situation is not going to work, they trying to get up out of there with the quickness. They're not waiting around and franchising and all that kind of stuff. So they trying to make their moves, get their money when they can get it, because, hey, every play you one step away. That's a good question, Murph. Will another team grab Devon Allen? Before last week I would have said no. After seeing him run away from that DB and that safety with that type of speed, yeah. I think somebody might pick him up and put him on the practice squad because you can't teach speed. And he's got it. He's just, I mean, he was out of the game too long, in my opinion. He didn't really do anything other than that play. I don't even really remember hearing his name much in camp, the whole camp. So that's a situation where he was probably trying to get in, get his feet wet. You know, he got to remember stuff again. He got to, get that muscle memory back, what it feels like to take a hit, all that kind of stuff, on top of guys that have been in the game doing it week in and week out. So he's playing catch up. So it's good that he got his play, kept his ball, and very well he should. But I don't think the Eagles, he's not going to make our roster. But I believe somebody might pick him up and put him on the practice squad. You can't go speeding. He got it. So we'll see. Jake, you disagree with the poll? You think Rager's going to keep his spot? Yeah. Well, Howie doesn't like owning up to his mistakes. A year ago, 2 years ago, I would agree with you. Now, with what he's done, with how he's drafted, how we got defensive line, how we went and got A.J. Brown, and when we drafted DeVonta Smith, when we got Jordan Davis, the obvious pick. Jordan Davis was the obvious pick. The only other person I could have seen Roseman drafting was, I believe, the kid from, the safety from Notre Dame. But Jordan Davis was the obvious pick. It made the most sense, and he went and got it. We didn't get, some pretty decent wide receiver from TCU. You went and got the number one dude that was on top of everybody's chart, and the guy that was projected to be a number one pick. You went and got the guy. And I think with DeVonta Smith, with Jordan Davis, even with Nakobe Dean falling to us, I think now Howie understands, not like he didn't before, but for whatever reason, he made the choices that he made. J.J. Arthega, Jalen Reagor, and ones before. When there were obvious, the most glaring example is Jalen Reagor versus DK Metcalf. So, but that's the way things fall, and I think Howie has learned his lesson. So I don't think he's making that mistake anymore. So I think he understands looking at the players that he's missed on, and you can't even say missed. When you miss, that means you make your pick and then you just whiff on that pick. I say miss. There were clearly better options than his past picks, and he didn't make them. And that's a situation where, to a fault, you trust your guys. You trust the guys that you paying to go out and scout and do this, and they can bring that scout report. Because let me be honest with you, for them to draft Jalen Reagor, I don't blame Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor went and worked out, had a crazy 40 time at his personal workout. So I understand why somebody would have scouted Jalen Reagor and was like, okay. But when you look at everybody else, the scouting reports and the grades they had on them, nobody had him picked as a first rounder. He was the third or fourth rounder at best. So for them to jump and make that pick, you got to ask questions. Having said all of that, I think he's learned his lesson, and I don't think it's going to happen anymore. I don't think it's going to happen. So, any given Sunday, Diane Perkins is coming in hot. Gum flapping rapidly, adding more opinions from these retired. Told I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's got a shot, Diane. Everybody's got a shot. We are one play away from the best season ever, and we are one play away from the worst season ever. If something happens and Jalen goes down, knock wood, and we got to deal with Gardner Minshew for the rest of the year, same thing in Tampa Bay, same thing in LA, same thing in Las Vegas. If any of those guys, same thing in Miami. If Tyreek Hill pulls something and he comes up gimpy because he's done it before in the past. Last time, what was that, 2 years ago with the Chiefs, where he came up gimping and he ended up missing 3 or 4 games. That can happen, and that can cost dearly. So we'll see. We shall see. The other news, which was funny, I shouldn't say never hear this stuff before, but especially with COVID and everything, but practice got canceled because of the stomach flu. They had the bug going down. I didn't hear any announcements about any Eagles getting sick. So it had to be something in their hotel room. Maybe it was something that they ate. I saw a report later or earlier today that said they figured out that it was not food poisoning. So I was like, somebody must have had something and just passed it around. So who knows? But we could have used that extra day of work, but it wasn't gonna happen. And now the interesting thing is, because I've been watching all of the media heads, ESPN, First Takes, Good Morning Football, all the shows, and now it seems that the Eagles are getting a lot of attention all of a sudden. Not that we wasn't before, but now we're getting a lot of attention. And anytime you're leading the headlines where the money starts changing hands based on what you're doing, people are starting to pay attention. I like it when they weren't paying attention, because that's when you can catch somebody sleeping. But when Vegas is starting to bet on you and put money in your direction, everybody starts paying attention. And that just puts a little bit more pressure on you to live up to the expectations. So we'll see what happens. I like being quiet. I like being the underdog. We still have that type of mentality. And the only way to break that is if Jalen Hurts comes out and just goes nuts. And that way, because I think our defense is going to be stellar this year. And the big question is going to be Jalen Hurts. He's going to be better than he was last year. And I said this, if anybody saw me on Sports Take with D-Gun, Rob Ellis, and Big Barrett Brooks, I said it. I don't need Jalen Hurts to be elite level. I just need him to be good. I need him to be a solid 250 to 300 yards a game, somewhere in between there, and low turnovers. He was low turnovers last year, even with those 2 bad games with Carolina and New York. He didn't turn the ball over much. And in those games, he had 3 picks each. So, and I think he only ended up with 11. Was it 9, 10? I got to look that up. He didn't have a lot of picks last year. He didn't turn the ball over much. So keep that alive. So we're going to see. They're putting money on us. So everybody's starting to pay attention, and it's all riding on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts. So we'll see. We shall see. You hear all this coach speak from practice. Coach speak. What's up, Derry? Throw Derry up there. NFL Eagles having best record in 12. That's a lot of expectation, man. That's a big expectation. And we have a favorable schedule. So our first 4 games, we have a legitimate opportunity to go 4-0. But what we got to do is we got to get over the hump, which was a major criticism of us last year. We didn't beat nobody. He had 9 picks. Thanks, Sean. Last year, we did not beat any playoff teams. So we got to be able to do that this year. And that's going to fall squarely on what Jalen can do. So I love the coach speak. I love he's looked good in practice. The one thing I saw day one with the Dolphins, There was a guy I started following. He was a beat reporter from Miami, and he made the comment that Jalen Hurts was throwing much better than Tua was. And I mean like the ball literally coming out of his hands. Had like having a lot of zip on his passes and things like that, the mechanics and stuff like that. So it's always good when somebody else that has no stake in our game will notice that thing. So what that tells me is, obviously, me as a pro Hurts guy, I already know he's been putting in the work. But you still have people with the noodle arm and all of that kind of stuff. And listen, those are valid criticisms. And again, it's up to him to put down all of that criticism and level up their passing game. So we're going to see what he's going to do this year. But having said that, I wanted to look at a couple plays from practice, right? This is the first play. Let me see. This is the first play with Jalen Hurts. And this was like a crazy catch by DeVonta Smith. Check this out. Goes up and get it. DeVonta getting separation. But here's my criticism. And again, I say this as a Jalen Hurts fan. He gets rid of the ball. And Jalen, I know he can throw further than this. He's putting touch on the ball. He ain't trying to throw it to the end zone. But this is where you get that feel. Look where the ball comes down. If he gets that ball maybe 3 to 4 more yards in front, DeVonta Smith is still running. DeVonta Smith has to go up and get the ball. And he does. He out-jumps him, out-physicals him, pulls the ball down. We got the first down. Everything keeps rolling. And that's what I like to see. But this is one play. I know there's been a couple plays where he's put the ball out there and everybody, catch the ball in stride. And that's what we want to see. But being an ex-player, you watch film, you got to keep it 100. Those are the throws that will be the difference between moving the ball down the field and scoring 6. And that's the stuff I want to see from Jalen. I want to see him put that ball about another 3 yards in front of DeVonta Smith, because DeVonta Smith has proven he's got the speed to go get it. I know we already know what A.J. Brown is. Quez Watkins said he's the fastest guy in the league, he thinks. I don't know how much he felt that down there with the cheetah. We'll get into that in a second. But because everybody was looking forward to Quez Watkins and Tyreek Hill having a race. I would have wanted to see that. You can't say that and not be able to back it up. Which means because every game you watch Tyreek Hill, every game you watch him, they have trouble staying with him. You have trouble. He's just that fast, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, is Quez Watkins that type of wide receiver? Does he have elite speed like that? I don't know. He's showed some sparks in the past. I know he did have a long pass from Jalen Hurts, and then he didn't score. So Jalen hit him in stride. Quez Watkins took off, and I guess the guy had an angle on him and caught him down at the 3. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, we ain't even score that play. That leads me to another problem we having. And nobody's really said much about it, but our red zone offense is very suspect. And that bothers me because we were suspect last year. Our red zone was horrible last year. So I hope they get this playbook thing together, and Steichen or Sirianni or whoever's going to be developing the game plan. And when they call in that red zone offense has got to be much better than it was last year. Point period in the paragraph. Because last year it was horrible. So So we'll see. But Jalen's been throwing the ball well. He's had a great camp. That's just me nitpicking. He's getting the ball out from all reports. And when I say reports, I listen to Zangaro and Ruben and all them guys because they report on the Eagles. But when I want to hear it from a player, I'm listening to Baldy and I'm listening to Barrett Brooks because they're looking at it from a player's perspective. So everything doesn't look the same as they report on the news and on social media. We don't look at things the same way. So I'm looking for Jalen to get rid of the ball quick, hit his target, and for the most part, it sounds like that's what he's been doing the whole camp. And I know everybody jumps on that bandwagon like, well, it's just practice. You are correct. It is practice. It is preseason. Nothing counts. But just imagine if Jalen Hurts would have went 3 for 6 or went 2 series where he was 3 and out. We'd have been hearing about it. He's not ready. He can't do it. All of that kind of stuff. He's not the guy. You know, if he would not have had a good showing in the preseason, we'd be hearing all about it. Everything that how he's doing now, it would be about him getting ready to make a move to draft another quarterback. So I know it's practice. I know it's preseason. But if it was going the other way, it would be everybody would be jumping off the cliff to get rid of him. So I keep tempered expectations. I know I have full confidence that Jalen is going to be a better passer than he was last year. And I posted this this week. If Jalen can average 250 yards a game, 250, that's not, when you think of good quarterbacks, you're thinking of 300 yards plus. Lighten it up, throwing the ball all over the field. But think about it like this. If Jalen averages 250 yards a game, that's what, 4,200 yards for the season? That's a 4,000-yard passing season. And when you break it down like that, that's a realistic expectation. That's a very realistic expectation. So I'm looking for Jalen to make the leap. For me, I got 3 reasons. Number one, you've got AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith. You got weapons. Number 2, he worked on it. He's been working on working with the gurus in California and all of that kind of stuff. So he's been putting in work. Working on his arm strength, working on his accuracy, all of that kind of stuff. But to me, and again, you guys hear me say this stuff all the time, the most important reason why Jalen Hurts will be better is because he is in the second year of the same offense. He knows the answers to the test. That's why. That's why. When you come into the league, the fastest way to make a team or to make an impact on a roster is if you know the playbook. The faster you know the playbook, that means you're on the field. You know what you're supposed to do. You're not nervous. You don't think about it. If you're thinking about it, you're already a step behind. When you know what you're supposed to do and it just comes naturally, that means you're up to game speed. That's what that means when you hear players say, I'm not at game speed yet. And this half of it's mental. When you know where you're supposed to be and all of that kind of stuff. As a quarterback, when Jalen can look at the defense, know what the defense is coming with, and because of whatever look that they're showing, know if it's a hidden look, a fake look, and he can know where he's supposed to go with the ball on that third step. That's the stuff that Mahomes can do. That's the stuff that Brady can do. Those are the things that Jalen Hurts didn't do very well last year. So, again, I know he heard what they said about him in Tampa Bay in that preseason, in that playoff game. I know he heard it. He don't want to hear that again. So, as far as I'm concerned, the road to the NFC East title has got to come through Philly. But Jalen Hurts has got to be driving that bus, or we'll be driving down to Dallas. And don't nobody want that. So we'll see. But let's get into the other big story. Another video clip. Check it out. You know where I'm going. Big play Slay versus Tyreek Hill. Now listen, it ain't too many people that can run with Tyreek Hill. So based on what I'm looking at, and I'm looking at it from, I'm going back and forth with these guys on social, talking about he got burned. I didn't see it that way. He had a step on him, but look at he's right there. Feet get tangled. Basically, Tyreek stepped on his foot. So he turned his ankle going full speed. Anybody, I'm a running back. So that was like a weekly occurrence. If you ever got your ankle stepped on while you're running, it sucks. Hey, sis, my twin sister in the house. Everybody say what's up to Mel. Both my sisters in the building. But yeah, Sean, Tyreek stepped on his foot. And if you've had your ankle turn going full speed, it sucks, man. But here's what I want to point out. Let's just hypothetically, say Slay didn't go down, right? So right now, he is running with him. He's in good position. He's tracking the ball, got his head back, so it's not going to be pass interference because he's looking for the ball. He's making a play on the ball. Now watch how Tyreek catches the ball. Watch Tyreek Hill stop because the ball is underthrown. The ball is underthrown right here. Watch him stop. And I'll say it again. They're going to play it again in slow motion. If Slay doesn't go down, that's a pass breakup. That ball's going to hit Slay's in the arm, or at least his helmet. Watch Tyreek Hill stop. He'd have been right there. He would not have, if Slay had not have gone down, Tyreek Hill would not have caught that ball. So, and this is, I forgot to watch this play. There's another one, though. Look at this one. That safety is out of position. The corner takes the out right there. That's the same type of play that Devon Allen scored on. Now you flip it around. When Devon Allen scored, the same thing happened. The safety wasn't over there yet, and Devon Allen was already creating separation. There was no way that safety was going to go over there. But look at the pass and look at how Tyreek Hill catches the ball. He stops. Underthrown again, and that gives the safety time to get over there. So just things like that. Overthrown it. So, of course, everybody from Miami was like, yeah, Slay got burned, he got torched, he got toasted, all that kind of stuff. Nah, I didn't see it that way. When you watch it on film, Slay had good position. He was hanging with him. He was in a position to make a play on the ball. It wasn't like Tyreek Hill was just leaving him in the dust. Now, I think he did that later on in camp in a couple of plays in 11-on-11, but on that play, nah. Slay was exactly where he was supposed to be. So that makes me feel good because if you can hang with Tyreek Hill, you can hang with anybody in the league. Anybody. So our defensive secondary is playing good. I think we got a good secondary. I think with Slay and Bradbury, with as our anchors, man, we in good shape. We in good shape. I think Epps will be fine at safety. I think he's ready. I think he's ready to be a leader in that defense. Everything is lining up. Our ducks are getting in a row because with the big man in the middle, and I keep saying this, with Kaiser White, TJ Edwards is balling, but Kaiser White is going to be a beast for us this year. He's going to be a beast. We got him for 1 year. He might mess around and make the Pro Bowl. Him and Haasan Reddick. I'm rooting for Haasan because I think Kaiser White has ties to this area, but Haasan is from Camden. He's from right down the street. He's a hometown kid, so I want to see him go to the Pro Bowl. And then you got Fletch. Fletch is playing for a contract because he's not going to be with us next year. So he's going to get another contract, play out his last 2-3 years possibly, and then come back to the Eagles so he can retire as an Eagle. That's probably what's going to happen with Fletch. So we'll see, man. I like the way we're looking right now. I don't know who's going to play against Miami in the preseason game. None of our starters are going to play. So it'll be interesting because now that's the game. Everybody's getting their last interview for a team. If Devon Allen can run away from somebody might pick him up. If Deion Kane continues to do what Deion Kane has been doing, you want to be in a situation where you have there's no earthly reason why you don't put this guy on the roster. There's no reason why you don't put that guy on the roster. He earned it. He earned it, period, which is what you want. And we want a coach that's going to make those decisions. A little bit of money involved with it. Is it enough money to make you cut the better player? That's the question. And that's a Howie question. That's not a Sirianni question. Because what'll happen is we'll cut Kane. Somebody will pick him up. And again, he'll go there and ball out. It's like he could have been doing that for us. Everybody sees what DK Metcalf turned into. And JJ, we're like, DK could have been doing that for us. Maybe. It all depends on who's calling the plays. So we're ready to go. Our defense is going to be tested. Well, what I meant to say was our defense was tested versus Miami because our defensive line did pretty well in that joint practice. I think offensive line and defensive line on both teams had a decent day. I heard Jalen Hurts got sacked a couple times, and then I know Haasan Reddick got in there and sacked Tua a couple times. So it was kind of even on that front. I think our offensive line will always be the best option on any team. We always have the best offensive line, in my opinion. We got the best offensive line of football. So I hope that Sirianni and Steichen can balance it out. I'm not really worried about your boy. I'm not worried about Miles. I think Miles Sanders will be fine. He don't need to play in preseason. We know what we get with Miles. I just need Miles to stay healthy during the season and do what he does best. And I've been saying this, and this is just my personal opinion, my experience as a running back. Miles needs to be 6 to 7 yards deep. Jalen Hurts needs to be under center. Do not run Miles out of gun. If you're going to run out of gun, put Boston Scott in or put Gainwell in. Because Gainwell can go, you can fake it to him, and Gainwell can get in the pass pattern. But if you're going to run Miles, let that dude get behind the center, line him up in ace formation, put an extra tight end, and you pound that left side or you pound that right side. You run behind Jordan Mailata or you run behind Lane Johnson and just do it. Just put it on them. Nobody can stop our offensive line if we run it right. Nobody. And running the ball doesn't mean running RPOs until Jalen Hurts' legs fall off. No, let him drop back and give the ball to the running back. That's who we pay to run the ball. We can do both. He can still throw the ball 20 to 25 times a game, and we can still hand the ball off 10 to 15 times a game, and they can both complement each other. You can do it. We just got to do it. The run game will open up the passing game and vice versa. But you got to run. You got to establish the run first. You got to establish that line of scrimmage. So I am very curious as to how we are going to do this year. Because last year we start running the ball, and it would always seem like, well, I know we can run the ball, but let's see if we can throw it first. And it's like, no, you got to set up the run first. That's how our team is built. You got to establish the run first. You saw in the other preseason game, first play, Boston Scott, Cam Jurgens was pulling. Boston Scott runs behind him. You know, we got 7 to 10 yards on that play before he ran out of bounds. So we can do it. We can definitely do it. So that's my only question mark going in the season. Whoever's calling the plays, I don't care. Use the balance that we have. That's what you got to do. Use the balance that we have. So we'll see what they do, man. We'll see what they do. Do I have a picture of him? I don't think so. No, I don't. Kareem Hunt rumors. Kareem Hunt, ever since somebody posted a picture of Nick Sirianni talking to Kareem Hunt when we had the joint practices with Cleveland, all of these rumors started coming around that we are looking to find a way to get Kareem Hunt. And I'm like, for what? What do you want to give up? Because everybody wants Rager to be in that deal if that deal happens. I don't think it's gonna happen. And now and now the other one is what's the other is another Browns running back, Ernest Thompson, I think it is. He's on the rumor mill now. So I would say depending on, I know Dillard has been in the on the trade talks now. Like Dillard is a piece of the puzzle. So we'll see. You know, I would hate to see Dillard go because I think we're going to end up needing him. And he's Dillard can start on most teams. He just can't start on this one because our offensive line is solid. So if we get a good running back, I'm still in the Miles Sanders camp. Miles Sanders is not a bust. If you run him right, he can still get you 4 to 5 yards per carry. If you run him right. Again, stop running out of shotgun. The first thing they teach you when you were Little League, if you're going to be a running back, you got to run north and south. You can't run east and west. So I think our success running the ball is going to come from Jalen Hurts being under center. They're still going to do the shotgun runs and the pistol and stuff like that. We're not going to get away from it, but I just really don't want to get them. Jalen Hurts should not run the ball more than 5 times a game. And when I say run the ball, I mean run the ball, like a called RPO. He should not run the ball more than 5 times a game. If he's scrambling out of trouble, go crazy. You do what you got to do to keep the play going and keep the chains moving. But a called RPO, that's just going to get your quarterback's head blowed off. You saw what happened in preseason, and he was clearly out of bounds. So I don't want the called RPOs. We got to limit that to no more than 5 per game. No more. Because to me, you taking the ball out of the running back's hands, and that's what you want. That's what you want. So we gotta have that balance this year. We gotta have that balance. I think we got the people to do it. We got all the players to do what we got to do. Our roster is, man, chef's kiss to Howie. Because, dude, you put it down, bro. Howie Roseman put it down. So we have to use the players like they should be used. Everybody's on the chessboard. We got to maneuver the pieces the right way. Gannon should have no issue whatsoever bringing the pain on defense, calling an aggressive defense. I'm very curious to watch the post game shows and stuff with Seth and all of them on the new streaming show they're gonna have, because that's not on TV. So if Seth want to cuss somebody out, he can cuss somebody out. So that's gonna be interesting to watch. That's gonna be interesting to watch. By the way, while I'm before I don't forget, tonight after this show at 9:30 is Birds of a Feather. It's another show on A2D Radio. I'm gonna be popping in with Charles and the boys. I'm gonna sit in with them for a couple minutes. We're gonna talk the Birds. Love their show. I always try to catch it when I can after my show. So he asked if I would jump on with him, and absolutely. So if you get a chance, check out Birds of a Feather. After my show starts at 9:30. But these guys are good. This guy's got to make the team. That's the question mark. He's the question mark. Because everything on offense that we will or won't do as far as trades and making moves is going to revolve around him. If you got a team that will be willing to take him, they're going to make the move. But it all revolves around he's had a good camp. Hasn't been a great camp. He's had a good, solid camp. Is it enough to move the needle in his favor? Is he raising eyebrows? It's a lot of injuries. The kid that just got hurt, Colin Johnson. Can he take a spot up there? Filling a need. Bodies are going to be falling, man. You got a 17-game season this year. So, he's the linchpin. He's the keystone. So a lot of these trades that people want, well, I should say him and also Dillard, because everybody wants a good offensive lineman, especially what happened in Tampa Bay, especially what happened yesterday or day before yesterday in Dallas. When you lose your starting tackle or you lose your starting center, Dillard looks good. I even saw a report that Jason Peters, Cowboys are looking at Jason Peters. So we'll see. Sean I've never been in the podcast. Oh, appreciate that, Sean. Appreciate that, brother. If y'all don't know who Sean is, man, look up some Eagles media. Sean is the guy in the stands. Always got his Eagles gear with the shoulder pads, with the paint done up. Nicest dude in the world. Sean's a good dude. I appreciate it, brother. But we got he's gonna be fine. I want to see some things out of him tomorrow. He looked pretty good in camp. He didn't not sure what I think everybody's expectation is for him to just blow up all the offensive lines, and that's not gonna happen. Still not quite sure of what his fitness level is yet. But I think he is gonna elicit some double teams and triple teams. He's that good. So if he's creating double teams, that means somebody's free. So I see Josh Sweat or Hargrave or Haasan or BG wrecking shop. So I'm good with that. Do you think we make a move for safety in the next week or two? I think so. I think the safety move might be waiting around to see who gets cut, who gets released. We might bring a veteran safety. It looks like they're probably going to keep Jaquiski Tartt. At least I think they will. I don't know. It all depends on who's available. It all depends on who's available because there are a lot of moves that can still be made. Like the first 4 games of the season, there's a lot of things that's going to be happening. A lot of things that's going to be happening. So there's still a lot of room to make moves like that. So we'll see what's going to happen. I can see us getting a veteran safety or another veteran cornerback that can play safety to back up Epps, just because we need the depth. So you know how it is. One play away. So I think we can. I can see how we picking up 1 or 2 more safeties. We're not going to pick up anybody. I mean, camp is over with. So as far as making moves for camp, it's all about waiting to see who clears waivers, who gets cut, who's a salary issue, or a casualty of. So, like I said, they have to get down to 53 next Tuesday. So there's going to be a lot of people that were released. And a lot of people are going to be raising eyebrows like, oh, he's available? Oh, you cut him? Why would they let him go? So, you know what? Vince, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't think they need another running back. I think we're good. Sanders, Scott, and Gainwell. Even though Gainwell hasn't had a good camp, you can't just discount the way he played last year. You just don't forget how to play. You can't just forget how to play. Murph, Cam Jurgens, beef jerky, man. That dude, shout out and big props to Jason Kelsey to see this guy and to be able to say, that's who I want to take my place. Big shout to Jason Kelsey to be able to do that. Because Cam Jurgens is the real deal. And Cam Jurgens, I would be very comfortable if Cam Jurgens would start. That's how good he's looked in camp. And that at center, not just offensive line, at center, at quarterback, you are the most important person on the squad. The center. I used to tell my kids at GT that all the time. The most important player on the field is the center because he is going to touch the ball every play. If he doesn't do his job, the quarterback can't get the ball. If he doesn't do his job, even if he gets the quarterback the ball, if he doesn't call the right coverage, the right block, the right blitz pickup, you're going to get your quarterback's head blowed off. So Jurgens is the truth, man. It looks like Jason Kelsey just took him under his wing, and he's picking up everything he needs to pick up. He's making the right calls, all of that kind of stuff. So a lot of our backups could start in the league and other teams. We got it like that this year. So, again, it all's coming down to Jalen Hurts, and I think Jalen Hurts is ready. I think he's in a much better situation than he was last year. I would hope to see that I really hope that we go and do a lot more tempo offense, not necessarily hurry up, but that fast tempo that we did last year when we played Atlanta. Jalen had a good game throwing the ball, and then we stopped doing it. Run that up tempo. Make the defense get on their heels a little bit. Get them breathing hard. Then you pound them. Pound them on that offensive line and just run through them. And then you get that mix going. That's how you get that balance. And we got it in spades on both sides of the ball. But that offensive line, you can do pretty much whatever you want to do. We just gotta put it together and do it, man. So I'm all for it. So we got a lot of questions that need to be answered. And we are here. We got the Dolphins. When do we play? Let me see. We play. What time is the game on Saturday? Where's my NFL app? So hopefully I'll be able to look at some game tape. I got this NFL Plus package, so I can watch the all 22. So hopefully I'll be able to bring you some footage. Let me see. Eagles, players, Giants. Nope. I'm trying to see what time the game is. Man, it don't matter. Preseason. Days. Nope. Of course, I can't find everything but the schedule. So you're killing me, Smalls. Let me see. Friday, Saturday. We play at 7 p.m. on Saturday. So that'll be the last time you get to see the Eagles in preseason. Then the cuts come. Cut day. The Grim Reaper comes around. Hold on. Breaking news. Kyle Schwarber just hit a home run. 35 home runs, leads the National League. What? Bing bong. Ring that bell, son. Phillies are balling right now. I'm like, Bryce Harper, take your time. Even though Bryce Harper's playing tomorrow. So Citizens Bank Park is going to be lit tomorrow night. So Phillies are turning around. Eagles are ready to play. Man, let's get to getting. Let's get to getting. So, oof, I ain't good. Yep, I'm seeing more stuff about Deion Kane proving he belongs on this roster. So he's got the height. I hope they give him his shot. But to do that, they're going to have to let Rager go. Because I think they want to keep Covey because we still have an issue. That's the other question mark I forgot to mention. We still got an issue in special teams. Who's our kick returner, punt returner number one? Covey should be, but has he done enough to get a roster spot? Not really. They know he can do it. I liked Huntley, but I ain't seen Huntley back. Huntley does kick returns. I ain't seen him do punt returns. So, I don't know. It's without having that practice with the Dolphins. So now everything's going to fall in the preseason game. They got to make a lot of cuts. Yeah, Matt, I'm not. The problem is with Rager now, one of the reasons why they'll probably keep him is so they don't have to pay that cap hit. And whether you like him or not at receiver, we all know what the situation is with that. He can still return. Now, he didn't necessarily do a very good job last year, but he can still do it. He can still field a punt, and he can still do kick returns. So, worst come to worst, you got to stick him back there to, maybe he breaks one or puts it all together. You never know. So, that's, in my opinion, that's why there's a good chance that they end up keeping him because Deion Kane is not returning. I think I was always curious as to why Devon Allen never returned. Devon Allen, I was like, if he did kick return and punt return, he'd have had a better shot. But especially with his speed, but maybe he ain't got quicks like that. Maybe he just got raw speed, but he can't, throttle it down, change direction, make a cut, all that kind of stuff. So Vince, I'm with you, dude. I think they're gonna try to keep Covey, to keep him on the practice squad, and they're gonna try to figure out a way to get him on the field active. And that's a good chance. Just the way you got a 17 game season, you're gonna have nicks and injuries long, so maybe they can swap some people around and give them an opportunity to do some punt returning. So we'll see. But I'm gonna get up on out of here. The game's coming on, the Packers and the Chiefs. I'm gonna check out that for a little bit. Then don't forget to check me out on Birds of a Feather tonight at 9:30, right here on A2D Radio. So good night tonight, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Murph, I appreciate you jumping in. Matt Walsh, Sean, appreciate my sisters jumping on. Love you, miss you, and check me out next week. Keep checking me out if you see. I'm trying to do some more stuff like on Twitter, and through Instagram, because lately Facebook has been getting a little iffy. So check me out on Twitter and check me out on Instagram, and we're gonna keep it going. Thanks, Murph. I appreciate that, brother. And I will see you guys next week. Again, check me out, Birds of a Feather tonight, right around 9:30. All right. I will see y'all next week. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Go Birds.